Hello boys and girls, you are welcome to ICT class. Today our topic is classification of computers. Classification of computers. So let's look at what we have in our learning objective for today. So the main reason why we are here today is to learn how to classify computer under the following: by types, by sizes, by generation, and by degree of versatility. So the main reason why we are here today is to do the introduction or introductory part of this lesson on classification of computers. So by next week we will take by types, and maybe we'll further explain sizes, generation, and degree of versatility. But today we are on introduction of the topic. So let's start. Classification of computers. Computers are classified based on types, sizes, generation, and degree of versatility. So friends, it's very simple. Just relax and listen. Alright, so we're going to take them one after the other and explain. So we can classify computer based on types into three major types: analog, digital, and hybrid. Analog, digital, and hybrid. Now let me explain something for you here so that you know the reason why we are classifying computer by types. If you look at some wristwatch today, the old type of wristwatch that has a hand that moves around before you can know the clock. But today, most of our smart watches, they are digital. They can show you calendar, they can show you time, seconds, and minute. But the old type of wristwatch, you have to read it yourself. So that old one is analog, while the new one, like our smart watch today, is digital. So that is the way we classify computers too. There are some computers that they work based on analog, while some work based on digital, while some combine the two functions together, and we call it hybrid. So we can classify computers based on types into three: the analog, the digital, and the hybrid. Alright, let's look at classification of computer by sizes. Now let me explain something here before we list the sizes of computers that we have. First is to understand something, that the first type of computer is as big as a room size. So it means we cannot carry it from one place to another. But today we have some small computers that are so small, like a microcomputer. Even your mobile phone is a computer, is a microcomputer. So computer does not become small. It started from a big computer like a room size before the size reduced gradually to the size that we have today. And that is why we need to understand this. And that is what we mean by classification of computer by sizes. So let's list the sizes. We have microcomputer, 2 mini computer, 3 mainframe, and 4 supercomputer. So we have 4 sizes of computer. Now if we look at supercomputer, for example, it's a type of computer, big computer, a computer that is building another computer. Or let's put it in this perspective: a robot that is building computer, mobile phone, or another robot. If you check through the internet, you will see some supercomputer like this one that build or construct most of our cars. So it's also a computer. So, and that's the reason why we need to know this, so that when you see that type of computer, you can say this is a supercomputer. And when you see a small computer like a mobile phone, you can say this is a microcomputer. So computer can be classified based on sizes into 4: microcomputer, mini computer, mainframe computer, and supercomputer. Alright, now let's look at classification of computer by generation. You know, I've said something that computer does not become small like what we have for today, but it started way back very big. So, and that is why we classify them by generation. Like if you take a look at what we are talking about, the name you are bearing today, I mean your last name or surname, it started way back, maybe the generation of your forefather. So that generation, that is your great-great-grandfather, they are no more today again, but you are still bearing the name. So we also classify computer based on generation, that is old generation and new generation. So we have 5 generations of computer: first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, and fifth generation. First generation of computer is the type of computer that is so big, like a room size. Later they reduce the size because we have improvement in technology. So as the technology keeps improving, the size of the computer keeps reducing. So that is why we now have a small computer today, which is under 4th generation. So the generation of computer that we have now is the 4th generation of computer. That is where we have all the computers that we are using today. Now another generation of computer is close, the 5th generation of computer, when everything in the world at that time will be based on AI, artificial intelligence. That is, for example, you want to go to school, you cannot go to school, you can just tell your dad or mom to buy a robot for you. That robot will be designed like you, it will go to school, it will receive lesson for you, and it will come back home and explain everything to you. I believe you see now that we need to be there in that generation of computer. But also, during that generation of computer, even today, do you know that we have some unmanned car, a car that can drive itself, even a plane that can drive itself. So we are very close to that 5th generation of computer. Now, the last thing for today is classification of computer by degree of versatility. What do we mean by versatility? It means how fast some computers can do their work. Like we have 2 degrees of versatility: general purpose and special purpose. Now what do we mean by these 2? I will pick one, explain before the second one. Special purpose, let me give you an example: a traffic light. Now the scientist or engineer or programmer, they've designed some traffic lights that it can pass car without no hindrances. There won't be any commotion on the road. It will wait for this car to be passed before another one. Now that type of computer, that is that traffic light, is under degree of versatility because they are so fast. It will just count down, just like in the Abuja street that you see a lot of cars moving and they are controlled by traffic light. There's no human being that is controlling it, but a special purpose computer that we call traffic light that control it. So that is under degree of versatility because they are so fast to do their work. Alright, general purpose is the common computers that we use today that can perform many functions. Like the computer that you have at home, you can decide to use it to listen to music, another person can use it to type, another person can use it to draw, and so on and so forth. So I believe Now you now know that we can classify computer based on types, sizes, generation, and degree of versatility. And all these classification, they are so important for us to understand where we are coming from and where we are today. Thank you for listening.